A while ago, I finished and loved a game called Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This is a remake of FF7's prequel game where you play as Zack Fair, the Cloud clone with black hair. Though it's more like Cloud is a blonde Zack clone, but whatever. When I beat this game's main story, it was not enough. I needed more. So here I am, setting out on the journey to Platinum Crisis Core. Not including trophies I got during my initial playthrough, there are 28 trophies in total. So let's not linger on this intro too long. Unfortunately, we run into a problem immediately. 1. New Game Plus resets mission progress, which is important. And 2. There's no chapter select like with Remake and Rebirth, so I will have to play through the game from start to finish all over again. Making sure to spend the first few hours of every chapter just grinding out missions, of which there are 300. So I'll be skipping over them for your convenience. The first mission is available during Chapter 2, right after the mission in Wutai. Prevent the materia room from shutting down. By talking to this scientist and giving him these Marco stones that we get from the missions he gives us, that somehow saves the materia room and I get the trophy, the first trophy of the video. During the same chapter, I also joined these fan clubs, which have 2 trophies associated with them. One is to join all fan clubs, and the other, prevent them from closing. But for now, that's all. There's gonna be a lot of setup for trophies that are only available later down the line. Like with this guy from Chapter 3, Soldier 3rd Class Level 1. Very creative name. He's down in his luck, so Zack offers to do his missions for him. And by doing so, Soldier 3rd Class somehow levels up. Okay, but more importantly, once I do all of his missions, I'm rewarded with... This is important later. Again, it's set up. Chapter 3 is barren of any trophies, so let's get past this one and meet Aerith in Chapter 4. This is where things start to pick up. This opening section of Chapter 4 has 4 trophies. Unfortunately, I end up missing on 2 this go around, and I know math is hard, so I'll do this for you. I left this place with only 2 more trophies. One of them being to collect this man's materia that somehow ended up all over the marketplace ground. Like, he didn't misplace 20 glowing green orbs, but a delivery service did. Somehow. Like, could they not find him? Look at where he is. He's out in the open. Now I've got to run around in a big circle, mashing X in under 14 seconds in order to satisfy this guy so that he lets me go with the trophy. He said godlike speed? And that's another trophy! Okay. Then there's this little scam artist. His random task for a trophy is a simple number guessing game. How many children will walk by in the following cutscene? It's 1 to 6, that makes it a 16% chance to guess correctly, unless I ask Aerith for her guesses, who then gives me 2 answers, one of which are guaranteed to be correct, so now a 50-50. 1, 2, 3, 5. Then I can pay the kid to give me his guesses. He says 3 numbers, and assuming he doesn't say both of Aerith's answers, just pick the number they both say, and that's 1 more trophy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah! And as I leave for Chapter 5, I'm stopped by Bruno, who was a kid who robs me this chapter, but I skipped over that. It'll come back later. This moment is very important. Chapter 5 starts the same way every other has at this point. Off-screen mission farming. I'm bringing it up this time specifically because at this point, the fact that I have New Game Plus level stats doesn't matter anymore. The missions are actually getting hard, with enemies that can deal over 10,000 damage or just inflict instant death. I had to make a plus 100 attack up materia and an aerial drain with 500% HP just to survive. But of course, the rewards from these harder missions also grew in power, which is why I'm bringing it up at all. The Adamant Bangle and Brutal. The Bangle from mission 736 breaks the max health limit by 11 times, from 9,000 to 99,000. And Brutal from mission 7-4-6 does the same, but for damage. Did you know there's a trophy for dealing 99,000 damage in a single hit? So I'm going to equip all the materia and accessories that give me the most attack, maxing it out even, and see how close I am. I wonder. Oh, yeah! Nice. And shortly after that, I reached 50% mission completion. So, jump cut, now we're in Hojo's lab.
That was a face.
Because Genesis is attacking the Shinra building and he's after Professor Hojo. But that can wait. I've got achievements to hunt. First, I release a bunch of monsters onto the floor below, and I'll deal with that after I perfectly time 5 seconds on this terminal. Which sounds easy, but this took 30 tries since the timer is hidden, and I swear there's a delay. Eventually, I did it. What a weird trophy though. Now I'll deal with the experiments. The trophy I'm after during this section is called Cell Raider. Checked all cells on the 67th floor of the Shinra building, which is why you'll see a jail cell keys collected counter in the top left, but killing the experiments doesn't get me any keys. Why is that? I never figured this out. Whoa! Flashback! Bruno from the slums gave me a steel materia. That's it! Press mug. Steal the jail cell key. Oh my god. What is this? Okay. Open it. And with that, I've made it to a quarter of the way. And there's still one more trophy here in Hojo's lab. Graded well by Hojo. Hey. While in this cage, Hojo assesses how good of a soldier Zack is. It took a few tries to find the answers Hojo wanted, but once I did, I got to move on to chapter 6. But first, I want to take the time to ask for a simple favor. I think you know where this is going. Subscribe! Come on! Just scroll down a little, you won't miss anything. If you do, while you're down there, turn notifications too. Anyway, welcome to chapter 6. Take part in squatting contests, join the 3rd fan club that I was worried I'd missed out on, uncover the spies that have infiltrated Midgar. Or at least 2 of them, and discover the first of the Genji accessories. These are some of the strongest accessories in the game. This first one, however, is actually pretty bad, it basically does nothing, but the one I get right after this is a strict upgrade to Brutal. The Genji gloves breaks the damage limit, and makes every hit a critical, basically doubling my damage output. It's so good, I never equip it from this moment on. I've just become so much more powerful all at once.
Activating combat mode.
That was Minerva, this game's real final boss. They hit like a nuke and they're an absolute tank with 77,777,777 HP. So, since I have no chance at this point, it's back to checking every part of the map for any special NPC interactions. And in the park, I find the second last fan club, the Sephiroth fan club, the Silver Elites. Once I ace the test to join, I leave to continue the story, but this kid's dialogue was interesting.
I am a proud Wu-Tai trooper. I eat soldier and Shinra troopers for breakfast.
That's called subtle foreshadowing. This chapter is like chapter 2, in the sense that it's almost all set up. Even once I go to Nibelheim,
Here comes the boy.
Me and Cloud here are both backwater experts. Oh yeah,
I decided to skip getting the trophy here until later, thinking this was going to be one of the hardest parts of the run.
Activating combat mode.
So now I have Angel's Buster Sword. Cool. I'm still in chapter 6 and I knew that the next chapter had the trophies I'd been waiting on for a while, like the fan clubs and the flower wagon trophies. So after beating 75% of missions, I ended up rushing to the end, which was a mistake, but it's done now. I'm in chapter 7, checking up on the fan clubs, and this is it. The Genesis Club is split in two, with one half struggling with money, the other doing more than fine, so all I have to do is convince them to merge. But the Angel Club, well, they're in a slightly worse state, I'd say.
The letter saying she was going on a journey. Where did you go? Please, Mom.
No! What? Good thing I found his mother at the train station, supposedly waiting for a train. Oh my god. She was planning on running away in search of her celebrity crush, abandoning her child. Worst part is that Angel's dead. I have his sword. Okay, I thought so. Now that I've convinced her to not do that, all I have to do now is go back to the boy and claim the wait, what am I doing? Wait, no. I didn't have a save for the Junon section of chapter 6, so I had to go through the Nibelheim part again. And by doing so, I accidentally infiltrated the base without looting a single chest and without getting caught, which I thought I had to get all the chests, but turns out you don't. So that was a nice surprise. I have to come back to this section of the game because there's something special I have to do here in order to get to the final fan club. First, during this section where I have to defend the walls of Junon, I have to defeat 30 enemies during this section. Then, instead of going the right way, I have to go the other way. Just go to the other side of the bridge, where Cisne will reveal the existence of the Zack fan club. Then, finish this chapter, back to chapter 7, speak to the receptionist at the Shinra building, and join the final fan club. Then finish helping out the Angel fan club and get both trophies at once. And now, with that complete, it's finally time for flower wagons. There are 3 different types of wagons, and the fatal flaw I made during all this was thinking that I was only able to make one of them per playthrough. But then I would just load a save and make the other one, and that's how I'd get all 3 wagons. And this made it way more stressful than it had to be. I tried for so long to find a way to avoid making the mandatory basic wagon. I even made a save after picking up the used tools, and I thought that maybe having them locked me out of making anything other than the basic wagon. So I loaded back to chapter 6, played again to chapter 7, so that I didn't have the used tools anymore, and it didn't work. Obviously. After struggling for so long, eventually Jacob, who's been in quite a few videos at this point, did something that I refused to do myself. He looked it up. They just say, you need these materials to make the carts. But I don't know why it won't just do it. It won't let me choose.
What's this game called again? Somebody's asking the exact same question. Once you make the normal cart and have collected special parts to make other carts, after the scene with Aerith, return back to her with a full set of materials for a certain cart, and then it will be made. So you have to get the regular ones.
Turns out it was really simple. All I had to do was make the basic wagon, progress the story by a single cutscene.
Nobody's coming.
What the?
We just need to have a little more patience.
We just need a new cart. Then go back to Aerith, who only now will accept the materials for the other wagon types. Cool. First, the fancy wagon, and its materials are all over the place. The instructions are from a Shinra commander who challenges Zack, wanting to prove that the Shinra troops are superior to Soldier, which they're not. And yes, I did forget to record this. The tools are only now available this chapter from this NPC, who only gives me one mission before coughing up his mithril tools. Usually they give around 6. And finally, since I have absolutely no idea where the next spy could possibly be, I looked this up as well. And well, this is where he is. It's pretty dumb. For some reason, they expect you to sit around this part of the Shinra building, next to the elevators, for 3 minutes straight. Because that's so obvious. Then, the spy just comes out of the elevator.
This is Zach. I found a Wu-Tai spy. I'm on you.
What the is wrong with you? And because of how long I spent previously wandering around, talking to every NPC I could, looking for that last guy, the hints I got for the next spies made it really easy to figure out who they were. I could remember all of them, even the last one.
Wu-Tai Trooper, huh?
Wait, Wu-Tai Trooper. Scared now?
Are you? Are you serious?
I'm blown.
Don't.
And since finding all of the spies has its very own trophy, now to give Aerith the wood from the spies, the tool from the scientist, the instructions from the trooper, and the premium tires from our old friend, we get the first, no, technically, the second wagon. Then the military wagon, which is thankfully way easier since all of its materials are found in the same spot. During the squatting competitions that I mentioned for maybe a second. There are 4 opponents you have to beat, each one getting harder, and when you beat them, they give you a different material. Take them all to Aerith, and you make the wagon. This is amazing.
I keep telling you, it's just a flower wagon.
Yeah! Midgard full of flowers, that's another achievement down. Halfway there, and I only have 3 chapters left, heading to the infamous Nibelheim mission.
Cut his hair. Cut his hair. Cut his hair.
And if you know anything about this story, you know we have to make these last chapters of Zach's life count. So let's do monotonous chores, like going on a scavenger hunt to find the 7 wonders that this boy tells us about. As the name suggests, there's 7 of them, so let's speed through this. First one is the town's red water. Turns out it's just a phoenix materia in the water tower. Second is the painting of the disappearing girl, but it's just this guy in a 2-sided painting. Next is a unique type of bomb enemy, that if you manage to kill them before they explode, you're rewarded with a gold shard. And the last wonder, before I'm forced to progress the story, is the laughing safe. We have to find the code for a safe using hints through these keyholes, stuff like how many chairs or monsters are in this room, or how many books are not in the bookshelf in this room. Success! The laughing safe was actually just a little cactus. Then Sephiroth has his first mental breakdown. You could even say he's having an existential crisis. Core.
Your mother? You're not funny.
The Genesis clones didn't like that joke very much, so they attack, forcing us to retreat to the village for about 5 minutes before leaving for Shinra Manor, where Sephiroth and the next wonders can be found. The 5th wonder is described as a blood-curdling groan coming from beneath Shinra Manor, but all I could find was a sleepy Vincent. Now, this was one of the funniest parts from my original playthrough. It was so stupid to me. But when he said treasure in the flames, I'd forgotten all about what that meant from my first playthrough. I needed Jacob to tell me to continue the story because I got so paranoid that I was going to move on without grabbing the next wonder. But once Sephiroth attacked the town, I remembered exactly what it was. So I have to leave the camera outside.
Thank you, mister.
It's so stupid. Such a cheesy line. And then he's like, wait a second.
My treasure?
Out of the flames, my treasure? Wait a second. Ah, yes, of course. The 6th wonder was talking about how this person might almost die in a house fire. Yes, of course. And now it's time for Crisis Core's Sephiroth boss fight! After enjoying a very quick 6-second pre-rendered cutscene, we threaten to give Sephiroth a light trim.
Oh, he's gonna cut your hair! What are you gonna do about it, Sephiroth?
Before a very fast boss fight. No.
Oh.
I said no. Followed by a second phase that managed to be even faster. But we lose in the cutscene.
Cloud? What are you doing here?
He's here to get shit done. Oh.
No fucking way.
Hee.
At least now we know why he's got beef.
How dare you? Cloud. Finish Sephiroth off.
He's not even a first class soldier. What do you expect from him? You couldn't. And you're dead. And you're dead. You looked away for 1 second. You're dead.
Buddy, this is Cloud Can Strife.
No.
This
doesn't
is
even have the
Cloud
marker
Can
placement
Strife. Doesn't need it. He can
Yeah.
still jump that high. He can still float. What is it with white-haired anime characters and being the strongest in their universe?
Whoa! Oh, they just got rid of. They just
Test me.
They just replaced blood.
Yeah.
I thought he was just gassy. Oh. What the fuck? You're dead, but not really.
And Cloud's the best. And Cloud's dead. And that's how Chapter 8 ends. Now that Cloud has been rendered completely useless until he gets to be the main character of FF7 proper on account of his Marco poisoning. By the way, in case you're confused, because you probably are since I gave no context, in between the start of this chapter and me skipping the opening cutscene, Zack woke up in a test tube with Cloud in the one next to him, so he broke out surprisingly easily, and now we're on the run. Zack is forced to drag him around everywhere. Luckily, there is some form of consultation prize for all this. 2 trophies at once. The Male Completionist and the 7 Wonders Expert trophies. When I pick up this material that was left to me by Boy as a thank you for saving his treasure from the flames. And at the same time, I unlocked some of the worst side content I have ever seen in a video game. It wasn't difficult or convoluted. In my opinion, it was the worst thing anything can possibly be. And that is boring. 1,000 Shinra soldiers. It was 30 minutes of mashing square. Why would they even put this in the game? I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Oh my god. I logged onto the PlayStation and I hover over Crisis Core and I see that it's going to be leaving PS Plus soon. So I need to platinum this game now. Zack discovers that Shinra had covered up the damage Sephiroth had done to the town, and now they're being attacked by troopers, as Shinra wants to make sure they can't tell anyone. But Zack isn't about to fall. Just yet. So he fights off the incoming Shinra troopers in a fight that lasts all day, until they finally stop coming after them, and the soldier boys finally have a chance to escape. Straight into our next trophy. Gun bullhead sniping. Oh, this is another trophy that I'd been dreading even before I started recording all of this. Oh my god, this is awful. Bro, it's so floaty. The main reason I was dreading this was mainly because of how bad I remember the sniper's handling being. And if you're wondering when or how Zack got a sniper, well, it's simple. They grow here like plants. There's no other explanation as to how or why they'd be strewn across the fields. They could even be upgraded using kill points, which you get for every kill. Usually these points are going towards handling because, well, obviously. but they can also be spent for smart bombs, which I'm not sure why they're smart when they miss their target during their first outing. And I know I missed, that's pretty clear, but you'd expect something with smart in its name to do some of the aiming itself, especially when it's twice the cost of any other option, which is what resulted in my first run coming to an end. When I saw these bots huddled up for warmth, I wanted to hit them with the bomb, so I went ahead, hoping to come back when I got the point. But then, can I get a fight? What escaped? What the hell? Then these bots spotted me before I even picked up the sniper, so it escaped before I had a chance. So on the run back, I spent my points at a different sniper so I wouldn't have to do it in front of them, which led to me finally getting this trophy. Zero escaped. Yes! Now with Zack on the beach with nowhere to go from here, he's found by Sisney, luckily the only Turk that wouldn't have attacked on sight. Instead, she gives us an escape vehicle that we take all the way to Gungaga, where I miss another trophy, get reintroduced to Lazard, who's now an Angeal clone, and he convinces us to pursue Genesis, who is in Bonora, instead of returning to Midgar, which is where we get to Chapter 10, the final chapter of the game, with over 10 trophies left. Somehow. Let's do this. Starting with the final mission grind. Starting at 80%, I start off with multiple missions in a row that reward me with different shops. Eventually, one of them ends up being the last one, which, having every shop available, is another trophy. I fight Zack and look up how to get Cactuar. Actually, I didn't look up how to get Cactuar, I looked up how to unlock mission 10-1, since no matter how many missions I beat, it just wasn't unlocking, and mission 10-1-3 is what got me Cactuar. And even after all that, I still only had 2 Genji accessories. None of the missions, I was at 99% now by the way, end up giving me any more of these powerful accessories that I needed if I wanted to stand a chance. So I assumed that I would get the Genji accessories just by getting other trophies, like every single DMW image to 100%. Of course, I needed to unlock them all first, and I was still missing one after unlocking Cactuar. And, of course, I ended up having to look that up as well, and I'm not proud of it, but come on. How was I supposed to know about a rare monster that only appears on a select few missions? Did I have to play Simon Says with in order to unlock their image? Oh, Magic Pot. He's here. It's Magic Pot. This is the last... This is the last DMW... Yeah, shut up, live commentary, Jack. I already explained that, okay? Like I said, you have to play Simon Says with this guy. He gives you a command, and you have to use the attack that he wants. This specific one wants Gill Toss, Costly Punch, 99,999 damage, which can be fulfilled with Costly Punch again, and Octaslash, which is a limit. Which means that I don't have control over when I can use it, and it is given to me randomly out of a pool of around 17. Also, there's a time limit. It's not as bad as it should be, since there are materia in the game that allows you to increase your chances of getting any specific limit you want. So eventually I did do it. I unlocked the last DMW image, got the trophy, but then I had to do it again, because this specific magic pot from this specific mission, that being the text, I don't know, I don't have it written down, can give you the Genji shield. And the only thing that I did wrong when unlocking him the first time was that I had to enter battle stance before using Gill Toss, so that it would deal a little bit more damage, since deal enough damage and you unlock Genji shield. So I did that. Wait! Genji shield obtained! Never mind, I did it. Next trophy is to get every DMW image to 100%. And to do that was stupid. The percentages go up for every unique DMW scene that plays. And just so you know, this is a DMW scene. And these randomly play sometimes whenever I randomly get 2 of the same random image to appear. Then I have to hope that the scene I get randomly just so happens to be the one that I hadn't seen before, since the percentages only go up for unique scenes. So there I was in the first mission of the game, just sitting there, waiting, with every materia slot filled with the limit boosting materia for whatever DMW scene I was going for at the time. And most importantly, Lucky Stars. This is Cisne's limit that both makes every attack crit, which is irrelevant, but it also increases Zack's limit level, which improves chances to get limits and even increases chances of getting a scene. So even after I'd reached 100% with Cisne, I kept Lucky Stars on until every character had reached 100%. At least the summons just have to be summoned once in order to get their 100%. In my original Crisis Core series, I made sure to show every single limit and summon I obtained at least once, and unfortunately I never ended up getting to Moogle or Magic Pot, so here they are. Whoa! What the... Graviga. And when I was finally blessed with the final DMW scene, and I got to leave this grind behind, I was rewarded with 2 trophies at once. Since getting 100% on every DMW image also gives you the last Genji accessory! Because I did it!
Oh.
And now, before going back to pick up any trophies I end up missing out on, it's time to finally fight Minerva. But even after all that I've done here, I'm still getting one shot. So it's back to grinding again! But instead, for fusion materials, like Chocobo Feathers for HP, Mithril for Spirit, Adamantine for Vitality, since leveling up at this point is just useless, then we fuse those materials with materia to give them stat boosts. Aerial and Iron Fist with plus 1000% HP, Assault Twister with plus 100 attack, a Spirit Up materia boosted to the max, and Dispel Blade with Vitality. Just in case Minerva has some buffs at some point that end up being problematic. With all these power-ups combined, I can finally tank Minerva's attacks so easily that the fight became boring. Minerva floats up to you, attacks, I either dodge it or take the hit since I'm pretty much immortal with regen, or I just heal with full cure. Spam Iron Fist to deal as much damage as possible, slowly whittling down Minerva's 77 million HP. A slow, arduous, monotonous, boring fight. What a finale.
Conflict resolved.
Oh, okay. Cool. There was no, like, explosion. I didn't even hear the sound effect. But they vanish. Defeated. We just killed the goddess. Got the Divine Slayer. And 2 trophies. The accessories I got are irrelevant. They're not stronger than what I have already, and trying them out just made the Genesis fight more annoying than it had to be. But I did beat Genesis, and Zack dragging Cloud's body made it just outside of Midgar before Shinra found him and put a bullet in his head. But like a rubbish self-insert main character of a bad isekai, not even that could put a stop to our story. I still had missing trophies, and it's time to tie up all those loose ends. Like the earliest trophy you could possibly get, besides clearing the prologue, or winning a battle, or doing a limit break, and that's Hero of the Wutai War. The only reason I didn't have this one already was because I never knew you could interact with the towers here to find the last few soldiers.
To think one man did this much damage to us. I can no longer just sit back and watch.
Oh my god. Boom. There he is. Get him. Yeah, we've got him now. He's surrounded. I fight the last ones here.
Conflict resolved.
Oh. And that is all. Then there's Slice and Soldier from Chapter 2. I actually did do this during the run you just saw me finish with Minerva, but I didn't want to start the video with such a nothing burger of a trophy. Since this does happen in Chapter 2, it'd be weird to do one trophy and then go, oh, by the way, I did this in Chapter 2, so I've saved it for this part. I hinted at this one earlier, but there's a trophy I missed in Godgaga to collect all the treasure falling from the waterfall. And this place is so small that I was surprised that I had managed to miss that trophy here twice, until I found out how to trigger the minigame. I had to run in circles, back and forth in this tiny area until I'd won 7 fights. Then, when trying to leave, Zack would spot a chest flowing down the waterfall, which would then prompt you to do the minigame proper. 7, 8, 9, 10. The final 2 trophies are in the exact same spot of the game. You remember Chapter 4? I said that there were 4 trophies available in the slums, but I only ended up getting 2. This is it. I tried to do this one before going to Gongaga, but the guide I was using didn't tell me how to do it properly, and so I did Gongaga, and when I came back with a better, more accurate guide, I was more than ready to be done with this game. When you're robbed by Bruno and go looking for him, ask this girl for help. When she leaves, the game gives you these options. Choose to stay for a little longer, 10 times, at which Zack will leave to continue the search himself. Then go to Boy, the one with the number guessing game, and even though he's blatantly scamming you, give him 3 to 5 potions. Make sure to ask every shop vendor for help as well before progressing. Zack and Aerith together corner Bruno, who gives you his sob story. Oh, his father's sick. He took your wallet to pay for the medicine since his wallet got eaten by monsters. Don't worry, I'll pay for it myself.
It's no good. There's not enough here.
I'm sorry? How is this not enough? Whatever, I'll kill the monsters. They're chilling just outside. Now that the minigames are available, I have to collect the materia and guess the correct number, and this is the vital difference between the last guide and this new one. The new one tells me I have to make perfect perfume 3 times. And for some reason, no, actually, for no reason whatsoever, I have to do it 3 times. I make 3 perfect bottles, that's a trophy, and then when you account for everything else I did, waiting for the girl to come back 10 times, giving Bruno 3 or 5 trophies, doing the number guessing game and the materia collection minigame perfectly, with the 3 perfect perfumes. Finally, I leave to go to Chapter 5, and Bruno stops me to say,
You're a good guy, mister. You and Aerith make a good...
yes! My life is complete! This random child who stole from me thinks that me and Aerith are a good couple. Yay, it's done! It's done! That I've done it. Shut up. I've done it. Done. 28 out of 28. And 1 platinum. I have no idea how to make an intro for this thing, since this is just the biggest video I've done ever, the most amount of effort. Probably tell just by looking at the time between this upload and the last one, this was nuts, and I'm not going to be making another video like it for the rest of my life. That's probably not true, unfortunately. See you next time for my 100th video special. Bye bye.